Hello, Nick, Ohana, February 22nd, 2025. It is D-Day, so to speak. Oh, I'm going to turn off the noise canceling right now on this. I have an Ohana breath this morning, and then I'm going to go off and visit a dear friend and have a chat and possibly a podcast. And then tomorrow I'm going to be with the Unconventional and Judy Brooks in Brew Creek in near Whistler, and doing a live 1 hour breath session amongst other practitioners and really collaborating and having fun and promoting and all that fun stuff. And then coming home, and it'll be a night away from the family, so there's lots there too. And so much coming up. And the breath this morning is comfort versus safety. And it's so funny, I just ran across an article on the Telegraph and saying, all right, I'm not comfortable with that. It's just what is going on with this Gen Z. And I'm just realizing every time I see one of these articles, we're like, I'm so upset. It's like, what are they reflecting about us as well, that we have created that for them? Being with discomfort versus safety, right? So coming back to this is mirror work. This is me practicing seeing me, saying the things that I want to say, practicing just speaking out loud, and practicing noticing I'm not doing this for someone else, doing this for you specifically, especially if the you is someone who's chosen to listen to this right now. Not that you can't get value out of it, but it's a very different perspective than when I'm doing my online breathwork sessions, for example. That really is about you. I'm focused on you. I'm focused on delivering concise, concrete value. Whereas this one, I'm taking a drink because it doesn't fucking matter if I'm not focused on you. The you that I'm focused on is really me right now. And it just happens that I'm going to be publishing this as well. And I'm next to my fire of transmutation outside. It's sunrise, and it's beautiful. I just spent 20 minutes out there actually recording the first version of this, which I do for myself now because I'm getting layers upon layers of stuff through my head, through my body, through my being, because I'm clearing it out. I'm clearing out, part of the main point of this today is clear what all the things I want to say for comfort versus safety, the breath today, because how do I actually get it out now and then be much more clear when I'm actually on the breath, to not jump around to so many topics, because that's part of it for me. There's so much brewing inside that when I try to hold on to it and try to keep it out, it comes out in all these directions. It's like, but I need to tell this and this and this and this and this, and then people get lost. And it's not serving as much. There's a part of myself in my dream last night too. I was dreaming I was working with Elon Musk, and we were working in a hospital, and there are all these controversies and people try to push him out, kick him out, and now he's back and he's running the show, and I'm like his young protege, and people are seeing me and all this stuff. And I realized in my dream I was getting stressed out because I was trying to predict what he wanted. I was trying to get his blessing. I was trying to show up a certain way for people rather than just actually be okay with however they saw me and be who I am. And as I was doing that, I was getting more tight and tense and shorter breath because I felt like it would all collapse. Like it's all going to collapse at some point. And as I woke up, I was so stiff, especially the muscles around the midsection, around the lower back, around the sides. And I was like, part of it is, yes, sleeping on the couch. And I do that because once I woke up at 2 a.m., I was like, all right, I'm going to sleep on the couch instead of going back in. And I listened to this 2.5 hour yoga nidra. So I'd listened to stuff that theoretically would help me relax and my body relax. And I was waking up so tense. Even right now, I'm just noticing the tightness in the jaw and stuff. And I believe it was a reflection. It is a reflection of the tightness and the tenseness I'm holding myself. Sometimes the games that I'm playing, trying to show up a certain way, trying to hold it all together. Even right now, I recognize the couple times that I kind of snapped was when I had, oh my God, I've got all these things to do. Can you not see it? We need to keep going. We need to move to the next thing. And then people around me going, oh, I didn't know that was going on for you. And for me, it's like, how do I both acknowledge and have that and bring it out and speak it, and then how do I actually do something about it as well? And part of it, when I go back upstairs to my room, I'm probably going to start writing down some Post-it notes again, just things to get off of my head. Things of the to-dos, things of the myriad to-dos, because it helps me sometimes just to get it out there. And then all the tools that I've purchased, bought, like even the 1% diary, I've just barely scratched the surface. The master planning for life, again, in my own way, having scratched the surface, but that one much more scratching the surface of the whole thing, which is fantastic. I'm actually really proud of that one, having gone all the way through. And then the unpacking of the second room, there's still so much stuff in there. And every time I turn it into a little office again, and it's like, it's not what I want it to be. And probably in a way it is an office. It is a space for the online breaths. It is similar to what I had before, and I want it to be different. So taking a breath, feeling the tightness in the chest, feeling all of that, and being okay with it. This is why this is mirror work for me. I'm actually being with the feelings that are coming up and speaking it fast, speaking it slow, looking at my eyes, looking away, noticing the eyes again. I'm going to keep noticing this right now. The asymmetry, the double lid on the left side, the single lid on the right side, and just keep noticing it and inviting the body to balance out. And that was something I was listening to yesterday. Oh yeah, it's like, hi, your future self. I am inviting and requesting for you to send me the messages that I can hear, am ready to hear, am wanting to hear. Not that I'm wanting to hear in the sense that I want you to tell me what I want to hear, but I'm wanting to hear in the sense that I'm ready for the messages to start coming through. And start working with it and get connected with you closer and closer, because I'm ready to accelerate the transfer of knowledge, of truth, of wisdom, awaken this inner sage to the next level and the next level and the next level. And as well, even receiving the messages of patience, even receive the messages of enjoy things as they are. And I recognize as I'm saying this out loud, that's part of it. I'm impatient in this business, especially taking off, so that I can have the familiarity and the comfort of money rolling in. And what's really useful right now is to keep playing, is to keep creating opportunities that feel enriching, enlivening, and to recognize that I get to choose. And to recognize when I'm going back down the same paths, and to recognize right now I've been switching my diet to try to actually create more energy, vitality, and clarity. Because I want all those things moving forward. I don't want to be in the same place as when I was reading Lift Off by Elon Musk, of him being so burnt out and his whole team being so burnt out. It's like, is everything going to collapse in that way? It doesn't mean that there aren't cruxes in my life. Like, there's cruxes over and over again. And especially given my hierarchy of values, my own map of consciousness first, and then my family, my ohana second, it goes against that to be so burnt out that I'm not actually being with the consciousness and being with the family. And so it feels like a tug of war, but it's really a clarity piece. It's a clarity piece that's coming in. And that's why the founding of these businesses are third. Part of it is I'm still founding the businesses and founding the 1,000-year mission and vision, right? Awakening the inner sages, that tagline, focusing on that map of consciousness. It really is almost increasing the consciousness of the whole ohana, and I'll stick with that because I want to stick with the people I can directly impact first. The ripples will still keep going out. To be over 200 for sure. Courage, level of courage. I'd love for it to get to the level of joy, right? The level of joy. The playing, the having fun. And that's me at my highest and best right now, is when I'm actually making the impact, having fun, playing. Spiritual work doesn't have to be serious, it can be fun. And in that fun, ensuring there's that safety, the safety versus being super cavalier. Like, and I've been with people who are super cavalier. In my eyes, it doesn't mean that they're cavalier in their eyes, and that's the piece for me to keep remembering. Other people looking at me going, he's super cavalier. And I'm like, no. And, oh, he should get more training. Yes and no. I'm looking forward to training. I'm constantly training. Even this is training. This is probably the deepest training. Sometimes our idea of training There's another one. Our idea of training or receiving some training, having someone else approve of what we've done versus actually doing the work that we know we need to do to embody something are two different things. I won't get a certificate for doing this mirror work. And I know that doing a year of this is serving me more than a lot of the trainings that I could do out there because I am being my own teacher as well. I'm actually unveiling all the teachings, like whether it's investing, and I've done Rule 1, I've done, accomplishment coaching, I've done medical school, I've done all these things. And there's so many teachings still to embody. One of the things is I was listening to Dr. DiMartini last night on wealth building, on his audiobook on wealth. He's like, why are you looking for the advanced course in wealth building when you haven't even done the things for the basics? Knowing what your net assets are, starting to create the savings accounts, having things go automatically, seeing where you're starting from versus where you want to go. And that's part of it for me. Sometimes I want that next advanced course. Oh, and then I can say I've done this versus ground back down into what is. And know that some of these things I already know, like how do I work and stretch the eyes out? How do I have a softer gaze? How do I look off at a distance? And I'm saying all this because I signed up for the ClearSight course, which again, by default, I'm going to cancel early next week because I recognize, I'm not actually going to be doing it. I'm not quite ready for it. I think it's useful in the future, and I think it'll be useful to come back to it when it's even more refined. Like that's part of it for me, is recognizing, okay, when is something refined enough that I actually want to take it? And then even if something is refined, for example, Eric Godse has an amazing course on Mentally Fit. I think I would love to take it. And I'm not at a place right now where I want to take it because my brain is already super full with what's there, and I've got other things I'm looking to create, and I've got other things to deliver right now. And I have been following his emails. And it matters. I love what he's doing, especially with the guarantees. I can see that he's been part of it, pushing for that guarantee, and I'm really grateful for that because I wouldn't have done Fit for Service without the guarantee that, we're going to have this 4-month refund policy. It was awesome. It is awesome. And it's having the clarity of how to implement it. Okay. And even then, like how to implement it, it was what I would have done. It's like, okay, just stay for the end of the course. And part of me is like, do I really want something in the container who is sucking up space energy? And that's part of the old story. Coming back to the breath today, to what's going on, to the podcast, to the unconventional tomorrow. Tomorrow's theme that I have right now is We Deserve to Dream. Bringing them to places where it's grinding stuff out, but bringing them to a place where it's like, okay, how do we actually clear out stuff not to be stuck in the cycle of, I've got stuff to heal, I've got baggage here, I've got things I need to fix. It's, how do I actually notice I actually want to dream? And dreaming can be just as powerful as everything else. Dreaming can be the deepest work there is. Dreaming could be the deepest work there is. And I am just turning on the noise canceling again. And I'm going to head outside and just be in the sunshine for a little bit. Be with the misty mountains of Moria. Look at all that mist behind there. Being out in the brightness. Sky trains coming across. I imagine you can hear some of that noise. And it's okay if you do, it's okay if you can't. And part of it I recognize as I'm using Zoom especially, and people can't hear the background noises because it's got such a good noise cancellation detection. And these days that's fantastic in terms of the hearability of things. Like it's like, I can actually hear what someone's saying. But it's also taking away the highs and the lows of someone's voice, I imagine, because it's always processing. You're never actually hearing someone's voice. And at some point we may actually get uncomfortable with hearing someone's voice in real life because there will be edges that are a little grating because it's been modulating it so much. And again, that's the comfort versus safety. It may be more comfortable. And is it unsafe to actually hear someone's voice, to actually be with someone? So I'm noodling with so many ideas right now. And sometimes I'm getting overwhelmed. And right now I'm just practicing, okay, this is for me. Even that, as I say, I'm doing so many of these right now, part of that is to get the approval of, hey, look at how much I'm doing. And part of this, the whole point of doing these videos is for me to notice the subtle underlying layers that are there. Not making them right, not making them wrong. It's, oh, there are subtle layers. And I'm looking at myself and I'm looking away because I'm like, taking some of the sunshine, taking some of this light, taking some of this beauty. And I go back, there we go. And right now my screen is in a black and white world, and maybe I will change it to the red tones and the red hues at some point in time. But black and white is pretty darn good as a starting point. Yeah. All right. What else is there? What else is there? Take a breath. Put this down. Sitting in front of the fire. Noticing that it is, oh, there's no clock in here that I can see. It is getting closer to 7 a.m. Oh no, it's past 7 a.m. It's getting closer to 8 a.m. There'll be an alarm coming up in a little bit. And when it does, it's definitely time to go. So this may stop abruptly at some point. Because it's time to get ready for the next phase. It's time to stretch things out. Really tight sternocleidomastoid still. Really tight fascia here. I had work right in the armpit area as well. I've got tightness on the back of the neck as well. And then the pinching, the really painful part, though, is right between the shoulder blades, C7, T1 area. That's the part that really gets me to stop, and it's what I'm trying to push through. And it's funny, the places that it's happened most recently is when I'm trying to push through, get some juicing done, and get a batch juice done, and saying, I'm doing this not just for myself, but for everyone else, especially my family, and then getting tight and saying, I gotta push through this, instead of saying, just take a couple minutes. Just take a couple minutes for a couple of breaths. It's like even right now, I can notice as I close my eyes, there's a bit of heaviness, and then a little bit of tightness on the left of the solar plexus, left of the diaphragm, left part of the diaphragm a little bit. Part of it is noticing all the different adhesions and everything else. Part of it, it's inviting my dear friend Joni to do some body work with me. And part of it's acknowledging what is possible instead of doing too much, instead of trying to do too much, instead of trying to do too much. Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you. Thank me. Thank the way of being. Thanking your life. Who am I? Who am I without my money, my titles, my roles, my responsibilities, the identities I've built, the home I'm living in? And I could say all those things and I get short of breath imagining that. It's like losing all of myself. That was the first ayahuasca journey, is losing everything. Like I am nothing, like literally nothing. No light, no thing, no place, no time. And it was terrifying, that point. And if I just flip the switch there, all darkness, all light. Nowhere, everywhere. No time, all time. Like, it's almost so clean that it can be flipped like that. And part of the reason I think right now the ceremonies go to the point of perfection is I realize perfection and imperfection are just two sides of the same coin. And being in that perfection, it's completely perfect. Otherwise, the other way to look, and you can look anywhere in between, but you can see both extremes, is the world is completely imperfect. It's fucked. And I think that's where a lot of people are right now in the world. Like, the world is fucked. And it's funny coming from that lens, everything is fucked. And from my lens, everything is perfect. It's reminding myself, and it's bringing the wisdom back to, oh, wisdom is the instantaneous recognition that crisis is a blessing. Like, these crises are what create the stories. It's the funny thing. It's the funny thing. The funny thing is, we all know that the best trips aren't the ones like everything worked perfectly. everything was super comfortable. Everything was really easy. That's kind of actually boring for everyone else. It's when there's something that happens like, oh my God, I got in a car and they tried to kidnap me. But I'm here right now. But going through that in the moment, probably not so fucking comfortable. And I'm swearing a lot right now because I'm just noticing that part of me coming out. It's a little bit of the warrior. A little bit of the warrior going, fucking hell. Like, and smiling. Magician up here, king across here, warrior here. Down below is the lover. And just noticing the different archetypes and the different colors and the different ways of being right now. And my practice is integrating them all, integrating the different archetypes. And how many I can see have integrated the warrior as the one, right? I can push through, I can drive through, and for me, I'm grateful because there's a part of my body that resists going too much into warrior mode. And it's building up the capacity to be with the warrior, want to be with, I think warrior in alignment with king, magician, lover, super powerful. Warrior on its own, eventually you're like, where did I get to? What have I done? Why did I massacre all these people? Oh, I was just in rage. I was angry. I was upset. I was feeling unsafe. Yeah. So. Changing positions. So much fun doing that. Sitting up on the couch now, looking out at the seagulls, being with another layer of discomfort, being another layer of failure. Like, in a way, my head comes back to, I was part of all these groups and I got kicked out. I failed. Even though there's a part of me that's come to the understanding, I meant to do what I'm doing now, to lead a team, to see from where I can sit and to do this work, even the mirror work, because me seeing me is so much more important than me trying to prove to someone else that you can see me. And I am my highest focus, right? No one, for me, I can recognize that now. Like, and I'm just gonna say the things because my brain's trying to stop me because I'm noticing the thing I'm saying because it's still not clear yet. I should take care of myself first because no one else is going to take care of me the same way. And there's a big piece of truth to that. Like, if I find the perfect person to take care of me, then I'm like, I'm dependent on you. I need you. And if you stop doing that, what's going to happen? And for me, it's like, how do I start integrating all the different parts of me? No bad parts. I really like that there's lots of different parts of me. There's lots of different parts that are managers. There's different parts that are protectors. There's different parts that are trying to be adventurers, all these different things. And I'm really grateful for coming into this body. For choosing. I've got a lot of faculties that I like. I mean, relatively healthy, intact, mobile, relatively able to speak, have a vocal range, have a singing range, able to see, able to hear, able to smell, able to touch. Having created the foundation of the richness of family, of mental, of spiritual, of vocational, of social, of familial, of physical. Like, it feels like there's such a good foundation actually. And I'm playing and I'm tinkering with the ideas of energy. Like, I've had all these different trainings that have laid down the foundation for where I'm at. I've had the challenges of being near death, suicidal, being off in the cosmos, being at the highs, being at the lows. I've had a huge range of experiences already. Different continents, different countries, different diseases, a huge range. And recognizing near-death experiences there too. And then someone was saying the other day, I was listening, it's like, can you actually get to where you are without tragedy, without all those things? And I think it's actually important to not glorify the tragedy either, to not glorify the extremeness of the near-death experiences as if that's the badge of honor that must happen. And I get it too when they're talking about indigenous cultures. It's like, if you don't go through your own dark night of the soul, you can't actually hold this kind of space. And part of it is just, what does the dark night of the soul look like? And it's in the perception that it's the dark night of the soul. And the dark night of the soul, when we can really embody